Okay, wow, I get to follow the comedian. So, anyway, my name is Amanda Pillion. I'm a member of the Board of Visitors. I'm also an audiologist. I'm the mayor of my town of Abingdon, Virginia. I serve on several boards and commissions that are statewide, local. I serve on a lot of things in my community. I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. Most importantly, I'm a mother. I have 4 amazing kids. They're my greatest accomplishments. 2 of them are here today. They're both current Who's. So I'm very proud to have them here. My mother's here with me also. I know my kids might just be here because they're gonna get taken out to dinner afterward, and that's okay. I'm glad they're here anyway. So I've fallen into a lot of these roles by chance and by circumstance. I have 2 degrees from UVA, and I'm an audiologist, but I don't really work as an audiologist very much anymore. And so when I was asked to speak here tonight, and because of a lot of other things that have happened to me over the past few months, I've started thinking about my road to leadership and how it hasn't been very direct, and how a lot of the ways that I've fallen into leadership have been because I'm a mother and because I'm a woman, and about how those choices as a woman and as a mother have brought me to where I am today. And it's all been kind of unexpected. So I was born in a small town in Southwest Virginia in Tazewell County, which a lot of people have probably never heard of, and I went to a small high school. I'm the oldest of 3 girls. And all those stories about birth order are kind of correct when it comes to me. I'm kind of bossy. I'm kind of an overachiever. I like to be in charge. But I grew up in this household with a father who was a football coach. He had been a football coach. And it's probably a good thing that he never had any boys. But he coached us as hard as he coached any athletes he ever had. If we made a 95 on a test, he wanted to know why we didn't make 100. Only perfect was good enough. And as a child, I resented that. But as an adult, I respect it and I appreciate it. And I've probably pushed some of that onto my own children over the years. But my mother was equally tough on us. In the best way possible. She was constantly going back to school to get another certification or to further her education. She was an educator. But anytime I wanted to stay home from school, she would say, get up, put on your lipstick, get dressed, go to school, go to your first period class. If you can't make it, you can come home. What I learned from that is you don't call in sick. You can power through. I've probably called in sick a handful of times in my life. You just go. You just do what you have to do. You can do it. So they pushed me, and I ended up at UVA as a first-year student. I was a small fish in a big pond. I quickly learned that everybody was smarter than me. Everybody was worldlier than I was. It wasn't the world that it is now. It was a small world. I came from a small world. We didn't have the internet. You didn't know about what clothes everybody else was wearing or what music everybody else listened to. And so I felt a little out of place. I was a little overwhelmed. I told President Ryan on my first day when I was appointed to the Board of Visitors that if you had told me that I would be serving on the board or I would be here when I was a first year at UVA a long time ago, I would have laughed at you. I didn't join things. I wasn't outgoing in that way. So my very first day at UVA, I had a suite mate who was from another part of Virginia who said, when I heard you talking, I didn't understand how you were a student here because I didn't think someone who talked like you could be smart enough to be at UVA. Well, I made it through my 4 years, so she was wrong. And when I was in grad school, I had an amazing professor who offered me accent reduction therapy. Obviously, I didn't take it. So I think it gives me character. I like the way I talk. It's fine. It's fine. I found my way. I stuck it out. I got up every morning. I put on my lipstick. I got dressed. I went to class. It took me a little while. I joined a sorority. I took on some small leadership roles in my sorority. And then in my 4th year, I served on the honor committee. I made my way through, and I decided to stay here to pursue my master's degree. And there's not an audiology program here now, but there was when I was in school here, and I didn't want to be anywhere else. I wanted to stay in this place. All of you know what a magical place UVA is and what a special place that we have here. So I stayed, and I graduated, and I went to work at the VA Medical Center near my house, and I did research for the National Institute of Health and the World Health Organization, but I was also married, and then I had 4 kids, and I had them pretty quick. So all of a sudden, I had 4 kids under the age of 7, and my husband, who is a natural leader, had practices all over Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia, and then he decided to become a politician, and that meant that he wasn't home a lot. So I made the choice to give up my career and to stay home with my kids. And that's not always the best choice for everybody, but it was the best choice for me at the time, because if someone pukes in the cafeteria, somebody has to show up. And so I showed up, and I chose to support my husband in his endeavors in that way, and I did that for a long time. And I found ways to be involved in my community because I would be frustrated, I would be bored. And so one day I found myself president of the elementary school PTA. And that might be the most formative leadership experience that I have ever had. I had never made a budget before. I had never made an agenda. I had to plan events. I had to get community sponsorships. And let me tell you, wrangling a room full of high-strung parents, that's a learning experience. It takes some skill. I learned about the art of a timed agenda. I learned to navigate a conversation out of the realm of chaos, sometimes with snacks. You know, whatever it took, let's get back on track. But I got that, it was very educational for me. And so I did that for a while. And then my husband started to work out of town a lot more. He was elected to the legislature, and he was gone for several months out of the year. And I was in charge of our household. And then a businessman in our town decided to donate a large portion of land for a sports complex. And you would think that people in our town would have been excited. And most of them were, and I was. I had kids who played baseball, I had kids who played soccer. We needed those fields, but there was a group in our town who thought that that was not a good use of the land. They wanted the land to remain untouched. I had a good friend. Our town was founded in 1778. She was only the second female mayor in the history of Abingdon. So my friend Kathy Lowe called me and she said, I need you to come to town council and I need you to talk about these sports fields. I need you to advocate for the fields as a parent. And I said, sure, I'll do that. So I did, and I did it again, and I did it again, and things got pretty controversial. I had to be escorted out of a meeting by the police chief because people were that mad about baseball fields. So the baseball fields were prepared, but they were never built. And then in the spring of 2020, right in the middle of the COVID pandemic, my friend Kathy Lowe, the former mayor, said, you need to run for town council. And I didn't want to do it at first, but I got on board. And my kids didn't want me to do it at first. They said, Mom, you have so much on your plate. This is a lot. You're taking on a lot. And we had a family meeting, and I said, you know, I really, really want to do this. It's important to me. Your father is able to change lives. He's able to give back to the community in so many ways, and it's my turn to make a tangible change in my world. So I ran for town council in the middle of the COVID epidemic, and my kids helped me. Virginia sat with me, and we called every one of the 5,000 registered voters in Abingdon and asked them to vote for me. So I was elected, and the ball fields were completed within the year. So we have this beautiful sports complex. We have all of these other community enhancements, and it's amazing. And then I became mayor. And that has been another huge learning experience. I am only the third female mayor in our town's 250-year history. It's not the same as parenting. I don't have dirty diapers, but I have a sewer system that I have to run. I know a lot about the sewer system, you know? People get upset about the craziest things. They get upset about trees. They get upset about deer. Every day is a new experience. But I love it, and I love my town, and I love the fact that I'm able to serve. Eventually, in this fall of 2021, Governor Glenn Youngkin was running for office, and I joined my husband in campaigning for him, and he saw something in me, and I've told him many times, you are the person who's put me on the path that I'm on today. He asked me to serve on his leadership of his transition team that helped hire all the people who worked for him. And I hadn't interviewed people in a very long time, so I found myself doing Zoom interviews and hiring, helping to choose people who he hired. And then he appointed me to serve on the Board of Visitors at UVA. And I mean, wow, I got a little geeky. I mean, all of you love this university, so you know where I'm coming from. Every time I get to have dinner in the dome room, I get butterflies. Every time we have a meeting in the boardroom, I get a little excited. This isn't something I ever saw myself doing. I mean, I am speaking in Thomas Jefferson's rotunda. Who am I? How did this happen? I'm not really sure. It hasn't come without its challenges, though. This fall, a journalist wrote an article about me and basically criticized my leadership skills. I was criticized because I lead in a quieter, calmer way than a lot of people think I should. I think that comes from the lessons I've learned from being a mother. Another journalist said that my only apparent qualification for the job was that my husband is a sitting state senator. I mean, it's 2024. I'm a woman. There are lots of other qualifications besides who I'm married to. My husband supports me in everything I do. He gives me wise counsel, he gives me encouragement, but I earned my spot on the board myself. And I'm very proud to serve on the Board of Visitors at UVA. It's one of the highlights of my life. I was told by another board member once, you don't have the experience. You need to sit back and listen, and you need to speak in a few years when you have learned some things. And I told this person very respectfully, I value your counsel, but I have things to say. The governor sent me here. I have a job to do. If I feel like something I have to say is going to benefit the students at this university, I'm going to say it. I'm sorry if you don't like that. I'm sorry if we don't agree. We can still be friends. But I have a voice, and I'm going to use my voice. So what I want to say is that women can do whatever they want to do. And I want to say this to my daughter, Virginia, who's here, and I want to say it to all the other young women who might be listening and all the other young men who have women in their lives. Because you can do all the things you want to do. You can be a mom. You can put your life on hold, and you can raise amazing children who are going to change the world in ways we haven't even seen. It's like that tree that you plant. I may not see all the fruit of my tree, but I know that I've done the best I can do to plant it. You can put your career on hold, and you can have another whole career. You can do anything you want to do. So just take advantage of the opportunities that you've been given. Look out for all the things along the way that you might learn from, and just keep going. Put on your lipstick, go to work, don't call in sick, do what you need to do. And then one day, who knows the ways that you can change the world. I don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up yet. I can't wait to see. So thank you all for having me here tonight, and I appreciate you.